All right, well, Paul, we're finally back. It's good to be back here with you, talking a little,
Yay.
talking some sports. So yeah, we do. Number one, we apologize for not putting anything out for the Super Bowl. Kind of had a lot of things going on, a lot of different schedules happening, work stuff. Had one that didn't go quite well, so I had to delete it. Anyway, a lot going on the last 2 weeks, but we're happy to be back. So we're gonna dive into college football. Got big time golf tournaments going on. So still a lot of sports to go. You got college baseball getting kicked off this weekend, and pitchers and catchers I think are reporting for MLB. So it's a lot out there, and of course March Madness coming up in about a month, about almost a month to the day, something like that. So got a lot coming up, so it's going to be exciting. A lot of fun times. We're going to start diving into the horses some. So I guess we'll just get started. So anyway, this is your February 15th edition of Cash and Tickets, brought to you by Poolside Bets. I'm Franklin. That's Paul sitting next to me. So anyway, good to be back with you. So let's get
Yeah,
started, Paul.
it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, we might as well talk about what we forgot to talk about last
Uh,
couple of weeks.
I ain't gonna lie to you. We gonna talk about start with
Yeah, the big game,
the Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl. Yeah.
I didn't watch not nary down.
Are you serious?
Didn't watch none of it.
You,
Sorry.
I mean, I did talk to you before the game got started, but you just weren't interested, huh?
No, there was one play that I liked. It was the Gainwell over receiving yards, and it got there, but I didn't bet it. But
Yeah.
other than that, I don't trust that. I don't trust nothing to do with the NFL. I just don't.
Yeah, I didn't place a single bet. Of course, I'd had a big night the night before, but did get back and watch the game, just because I have some, got some listeners and some friends that are Philadelphia Eagles fans. So that's kind of heartbreaking to lose that game that way. Did you see any
I just
replays
I
of
just
the?
know I just know everybody's mad because they got called for a holding, and the guy came out and said, "No, I tugged his jersey."
He did, but there were several
And I don't.
instances during the game that could have been called, and the refs have kind of set the precedent that they were going to let him play.
Did the right tackle jump offside 47 times?
And yeah, Lane Johnson got away with steal, and they even talked about it. Like Greg Olson talked about it during the game, and he was like, "No, he's timing it up perfectly because he used to be a
No,
center." I was like, "No, he hadn't timed it up perfectly in the last 2 weeks."
nah,
It was even more egregious against the 49ers, but he was still doing it, and I got tickled. The left tackle for the Chiefs tried to get an early start, and of course he was flagged for it. So I don't know what they're seeing differently with the Eagles and Lane Johnson there, but I mean I guess get big props to him. He continues to do it, continues to not get called for it. The only thing I hated about the call was that it had they had to know if they make that call, they're basically ending the game,
yeah.
and that's the only thing. I'd have liked to have seen the Eagles get the ball back and see what they could do and take that thing in overtime or win it with a late touchdown. I don't know, but exciting game there in the second half as the Chiefs make a big comeback, and of course,
Wasn't Jalen Hurts like a second round pick?
yeah, he didn't go first round.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the better, just stat wise, probably one of the better games that any quarterback's ever played, isn't it?
Yeah, he played a great. I think even in a losing calls, he should have gotten some MVP looks. And of course, it's always going to the winning quarterback, it seems. But of
Nah,
course,
it's
as Mahomes
pretty
takes it
determined.
down. But as far as stats were concerned, yeah, Jalen Hurts had the bigger game. But guy, I know how Eagles fans feel. I'm not. I mean, it took me a week and a half to get over the 49ers loss. Um, but you hate to see that call made there. You'd like to get the ball back and have a chance. It just they had been letting them play all game, so why make that call there? So I get it. Um, there's got to be. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of talk between the owners and the coaches and everybody about the whole official situation because it was they did not do well
You see Roger
in the
Goodell on the
playoffs.
sideline? Didn't I send you that? And him acting like a damn fanboy, jumping up and
Getting
down. And
hugged by Chris
oh,
Jones,
God
yeah,
almighty.
he's got to do
Be a
better.
damn
Just
boss,
yeah,
man.
just
What are
be
you
the boss.
doing?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. But yeah, so that's how the NFL season ends, and Paul and I didn't have a single bet in the game. So even if we'd have done a podcast, it wouldn't have been much for us to talk
Well,
about,
that says a
honestly.
lot for our podcast and gambling,
Yeah, look
doesn't
at
it?
that.
Nah, you just That's what we've been saying it all year. Just man, you got to pick your spots. Don't bet just to be betting. It's
That's
just
right,
silliness.
which is hard to do sometimes, but
We all get bored.
yeah, that's right.
Rainy day. There's Australian football coming
Well, if you're
on.
missing football, XFL is about to get started, and then the USFL is going to get started. So you're going to get plenty of spring football. If you have any thoughts of jumping into that, we kind of, you looked at it with the bunch of familiar names that we know coaching wise for sure.
Yeah, one of that Jim Haslett and June Jones combination. That's gonna be
Yeah,
fun to watch.
Haslett's thinking, goodness gracious, they're going to be aware defense is going to be on the field the whole game.
Better get them in shape.
Yeah, ready to go. So let's get into what is happening right now. It's college basketball and of course NBA, and I know we don't talk a lot of NBA on here. If there's some NBA fans out there, with all the trades that went down, the blockbuster deals with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, just watch those teams play. Let's get to the All-Star break, see what these teams have got, and we'll go from there.
What frustrates me is that in NBA, so you cap a game and then 10 minutes before game time they start scratching players. Every player on the roster is day to day.
Yeah, the whole resting deal is tough. Yeah, you get one you love, like we had the other night in the Thunder, who were going up against a one-man New Orleans Pelicans team and got beat. And got beat. So. It's tough. So, college basketball. Let's talk about it.
Let's go. Want to hear it? Here it goes.
Yeah, here it goes. I just got a few notes. I mean, we'll just talk now that we're getting close to the end of the season. I mean, we're only probably every team's got 6-7 games left, including their conference tournaments, before we get into the big fun, the big tournament. One note I want to make here is be careful betting the Big 12. It's an incredibly good conference. So I'm going to be watching those teams come tournament time, because any given night, one of those teams can take you down. That they're going to have a lot of teams in the tournament, and a lot that can win, especially the first two weekends, first two nights in that tournament. I mean, you're talking about your top teams, Kansas and Baylor and Texas, but you got TCU, Texas Tech, West Virginia, Oklahoma State. That'll give you a game every single night.
Yeah, I didn't really look much into them Big 12. It's scary.
I mean, they're really, really good. I mean, it's hard. So watch your home teams there if you want to bet the Big 12.
Hell, Texas lost their coach, and they're still out there.
They're still out there getting it.
And
of course, they just went down to Texas Tech, I believe, the other night. You got to watch those games. But they're good teams. You want to watch some fun college basketball, watch the Big 12. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to talk about 4 teams here that I like moving into the tournament.
All right.
And then you can talk about teams that you like. So
right.
I'll just start with one of the top teams. That's Purdue. I mean, I get it. Zach Edey has become a game changer for that team. He's been great down low and doing his thing. The only thing I don't like about Purdue is they got 2 freshman guards that they lean on heavily, and guard play is what gets you through the tournament. So be wary of Purdue, because if their guard play lets them down and they run into a team that's going to beat them up and down the floor, Zach Edey's going to get tired. I mean, that he's a big boy. Now, don't get me wrong, he's incredibly talented, and they're really good. If those freshman guards can hold up in the tournament against the more experienced teams.
9-1 right now in Purdue.
I mean, they'll be ready to go. But I'm a little leery about Purdue. I moved to a young team, the Marquette. I mean, they're very young. They only have like 2 or 3 upperclassmen. It's all sophomores and freshmen there, but they can score from anywhere on the floor.
Yeah, they're good.
And then they can defend enough for me. But man, their flaw, and it's a big one, is rebounding. They are among the worst in college basketball in rebounding. So that might hurt them in the tournament when they get against it. But they're young, so they continue to learn, and maybe they'll get better. So it's a good team to watch out there for. Team I've liked all year, and I keep telling Paul about it. I love the Crimson Tide. They can score. They can light you up.
They're a basketball school.
Yeah, right. If they're shooting well, they're gonna light you up, and you better be able to score, or because even if you can defend, they'll hit you from down low. They'll hit you from outside. They can just get you in so many ways. The only thing they don't do well is passing, which tells me that a lot of that scoring is created from one-on-one matchups. So, you got to watch that, and they tend to foul too much. So they could get in foul trouble if they're not moving and sharing the ball. That could be a trouble. So you go from one bad passing team that leads me right into one of my favorite teams going in the tournament that I just saw last night that passes that has just precision passing and can move it up and down the floor. And that's the Creighton Blue Jays. I love this team. They can go fast and then they can beat you down low if they want to play a little half court ball. They got the big 7'1" center and Kalkbrenner, who's very skilled on both ends of the floor. As long as he can stay out of foul trouble.
30-1 on the Creighton.
Yeah, I mean they get great guard play from Nimhard, which is you got to have good guard play in the tournament. And the other guard, Shireman, he can get you buckets from deep when you need one. So they're just talented front and back court. They can run, they can go half court, and they can defend. I mean, then they're deep, but they can, of course, every lineup's going to get, is going to shrink down come tournament time. But yeah, they're one of my favorite teams to watch. Love that at 30-1. So that's just a few teams I'm looking at there in the tournament, Paul.
Yeah, just about Alabama, like the Houston Cougars because of the defense. I mean, they're always going to be in the game. I'm partial to like an Arizona team or one of those teams that just score a ton of points.
A lot of Arizona. I just, they're up there in the tops. I just didn't mention them.
Yeah, I don't. I'm just looking at some of these odds. I mean, you're talking about that Creighton team's 30-1. Gonzaga's not Gonzaga. St. Mary's is a really good team too. They turned around, beat Gonzaga, and then had a letdown after that. But that guy they got playing for them, I can't say his name, but he'll be the star of the tournament, I believe, if they can, they get a good draw, and they got to have some luck. But I like St. Mary's, the Gales.
Yep.
That's really it. Houston. I mean, I like Alabama. How do you not like Alabama? I like what you said about Purdue. Other than that, man, it's not a really. I mean, UConn might make some noise, but I don't really trust them. So.
I mean, there's Xavier, Providence. Providence just beat Creighton last night.
Fuck Xavier, man. My face froze up on the thing, got me in my feelings. I'm sorry, bastard.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry to bring
Mom.
up the Musketeers. Yeah, I mean, it's probably a deeper tournament than we've had. I mean, a lot of good teams spread across. So I totally forgot about the Houston Cougars. I don't watch them enough, and mainly because I don't bet them because the lines are always so big. I mean, I just don't bet them.
Terrible basketball.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I did want to go over just year to date against the spread records for some of these teams.
Okay.
Just to make, I mean, like team I took last night, Pittsburgh, they're 19-6-1 on the year.
That's big.
Yeah, Florida Atlantic 16-7-1. So you're talking about 70. You got two teams on the year over 70% against the spread. So that means if you just bet them, blindly betting them,
and isn't Florida Atlantic like a 2-loss team, 3-loss team, some 1-loss team?
Yeah,
they've been just reeling off the wins this year.
They are 24-2. There's two-loss teams. It's Houston and Florida Atlantic.
Watch that coach. He's probably going to be on the move this offseason.
Yeah.
I know a team that could use somebody like him.
No doubt. The team that I bet before this year is Utah Valley State. A lot of folks don't. But go find it. Quit. Don't just go Power 5 and cap.
No.
Just because it's not on TV does not mean it's not a good bet. And trust me, I get it with the ESPN Plus and all that. You can watch it all.
For sure.
They're 16-7, 69% on the year. Cincinnati Marquette, which you talked about earlier, Marquette. Mississippi Valley State, 18-9.
That's crazy because they've been awful the last few years. I don't know what their record is. I don't think it's very good, but they just must be covering a bunch of big lines.
Yeah, St. Mary's, my Gales are 17-9 on the year, 65%. So if you can, like I said, just watch these numbers because some of these teams just don't cover. They're overvalued and are undervalued, like Pittsburgh.
Or you find a team to fade, like the Ole Miss Rebels, who continue to not do anything.
The Tulsa, or just on the other side of that, like Notre Dame, a team like Notre Dame, who was competitive last year, hadn't done well this year. They're 6-19-1 on the year.
Right.
They're way overvalued. Tulsa's 3-19-2. I mean, that's a 13% clip. You're blindly betting them, son, bitches. You have quit betting.
You
You are living on the
you don't
street.
have anything left over.
LSU 8-17-1. LSU's supposed to be a good team. Loyal Chicago's always a favorite during tournament time. They're 8-17-0. I mean, it's Ohio State's 8-17 against the spread. North Carolina's 8-16 against the spread. So I mean, Gonzaga's 8-16 against the spread. Duke's 9-17. Our Rebels are 8-15-2.
I'm surprised they're 8. I'm surprised they've covered 8.
They get I just these sites we talked about earlier in the year about football and like Vegas Insider and stuff like that. They'll show you the money movement. They'll show you all that stuff, but look for value too, because some of these teams are just overvalued, man. Just because it's a Power Five team, don't mean they're gonna win.
No, yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, I just want to talk about that a little bit.
And right now you're in conference play, so there's a lot of teams that have played each other. You got common opponents, so you can find the good value bets in all these conferences.
And they also play different on the road and home. Of course they do, but there's stats out there where you don't have to just go through every game. You can just go pull it up and see their percentage. Their shooting percentage on the road is probably way worse than at home.
Right.
And some teams actually shoot better on the road, but I mean, you just got to find that stuff.
That's right.
It's out there. Go get it.
Well, since we're here, you want to go over picks we've got for tonight? We get this thing uploaded in time?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to take it over there. You won't see our beautiful faces anymore, but you'll see where we're at tonight, and we'll just talk about it.
Well,
So
I like that.
Yeah, I got one
Nice.
bet in tonight. I got a 14 parlay there. I got Alabama. I like Alabama. The most reason I like Alabama here is because Tennessee has been so bad lately. I think they've dropped 3 or 4. They cannot score the basketball. And I understand Tennessee is at home, and that defense is incredible. But here's the thing. You ever seen a great defensive team win NCAA tournament or do something? You got to score the basketball, man.
Yeah.
We're not talking about football here. You got to put it through the hoop, and they just cannot do it. And Alabama absolutely can. So anyway, Alabama, I like Chattanooga Mocs. They're on the road, but I like Chattanooga there. Fordham is at home, and Duquesne is at home. 2 teams that are having really good seasons. I'd like to see them get in the tournament, but I'm sure they're probably in an automatic qualifier type deal. You know, conference only gets the one bid, so they're going to have to win their conference title. Anyway, roll those in together, you get a little over plus 500. So just got to get 4 teams home, and Alabama's the big one, the dog there, but I think they can get it done on the road.
Yeah, I got 2 teasers out there. They're both 6-point teasers. The first one we got on the list, the Florida -3. Ole Miss is. Just prove me wrong.
Yeah,
all I'm
just
saying.
keep fading them. That's
and then
right.
Bama and Tennessee, I don't see that game getting 150 points. I just don't. So I went up 6 points, got the under there, and then Fordham, I got them. All they could do was win. Basically the same games Franklin has, but I just moved the line a little different.
Yeah.
And this plus 120, I always just look for plus money. That's all I'm looking for. I don't, just make your money. We all don't. Nobody wants to bet the minus 120. I get it. I don't either. But you can find ways to move that number. So, anyways, the other one, the 4-teamer, is plus 180. So it's Chattanooga -1, Belmont -11.5, Oakland -8.5, and Alabama +9. If Tennessee beats Alabama by 9, I just would.
We'll just whatever. We'll both be crying.
we have before. It's not a big deal.
And if it's an 88-80 game, it'd have to be. They beat them 85-75, just crying everywhere.
I'm just gonna read my golf picks out for the Genesis too.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go back to the well. Scotty Scheffler won last week. Had him paid out pretty good. I think it was. I can't remember 15-1 or something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was pretty good for the number one golfer in the world.
It was a good good value. So I went back to well with him. I went with Cameron Young. He plays well at this course. 28-1 for him. And Colin Morikawa has been good to me in the past. I just like him. He plays well here too. And then Justin Thomas is probably the most consistent guy. And I had him last week, and he made a run, so I'm going to go back with him. He's at 14-1.
Yeah, I got to get mine in, but I had I like Max Homa here. A name you probably haven't heard, but he's a former winner here, and his game is suitable to the course, and he loves the course.
Yep.
He won a couple of weeks back at the Farmers, so I get a little leery about taking golfers to win, close back, like Scotty Scheffler had to win back to back. This would have to be 2 or 3 for Homa, but he's got the game for this course. He likes it there. So maybe I might look at Homa like a top 5 finish.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
still get pretty good odds there.
I like him.
I don't know how you just throw Scotty Scheffler out if you're going out there and getting a few picks. I mean,
Not if you like money.
dude is just absolute nails, and he's really humble. So I mean, he's got everything you need in a golfer that can go out there and get it done.
He doesn't have a pure golf swing. It's like hits,
No,
giddy up.
yeah. Well, he built it himself, and it suits him. So
Um,
here's a guy, Jordan Spieth. I know he hasn't won in a while, but man, he had his irons dialed in last week at the Waste Management Open, and you got to have great iron play here at Riviera. And if he can bring that and getting close to the hole at Riviera is very hard. So his proximity was really good, the Waste Management. So he can do the same thing here. He'll give himself a chance. And then the other golfer that I liked he's coming off a bogey-free 65 in the last round of the Waste Management, and really gritty. And this is the type of course where you've got to grind it out. You've got to just stay under control. Is your reigning U.S. Open winner, Matt Fitzpatrick. He's got that type of temperament that he can go out there and do well on this course. Like I said, he's just coming off a bogey-free round of 65, so Matt Fitzpatrick there.
you get even money on Max Homa to finish in the top 20.
Even money, top 20s. Yeah, see, I say he's very highly thought of in this tournament, and it's because he's won it and the way he plays at this course. Yeah. So that may not be a bet to take there, but well, you go to top 5, you probably get some plus money.
We got time. We'll take a gander. Want to see it?
Yeah.
I gotta find him again. Well-run organization here at the
we're doing
Bet
well.
Studios and Pub Hall. Plus 360 is the highest one I see.
Okay.
At DraftKings Sportsbook.
That's not bad because I think he's going to be in there all weekend.
No, that's not right. It's plus 450.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
Yeah. I was reading Xander Schauffele's numbers.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to talk about? What you got on your mind?
No, I don't really want to talk about MLB. I mean, that's a snazzy new hat you got.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd bring it out. My wife got this for me for Valentine's Day, and pitchers and catchers are reporting, and it's just getting close to that time, man. With it, one of my favorite sports because I played it as a youngster and growing up in high school and all the stuff, and yeah, I just love the sport. So it's getting there. We're getting there. It's not quite the temperature for me, but I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see the bat start swinging. Let's play some ball.
Yeah, you've entered training camp too, haven't you? Off-season workouts.
Yeah,
I'm ready, dialed in.
Yeah, trying to get the body and back in golf shape. It got a few pounds over the holidays. Need to get off so I can get that stretching, get that length going back. Getting ready so I can get more flexible. And get back into tournament time, ready to go.
Man,
I don't think they're gonna let me on any PGA tournament, but I'll be ready for local.
Well, some of them they just run out there. You even got to ask.
Yeah, just see if
run
that.
out
Yeah,
there and see what you
maybe I
got.
get in the U.S. Open, go through a qualifier one day when I'm like 50. I'm running out of time for that.
What are you,
pushing 50?
What are you, 32?
Yeah, youngster. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Still got a lot of life.
Add a bunch of more years to that number.
Against the spread, NBA. I'm running it down real quick.
Okay.
Oklahoma City's 34-21. Sixers 32-23. Milwaukee's 31-23. The parity in the NBA is incredible. You're talking about the best team against the spread in the league, 60%.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to win on a constant basis betting the NBA.
And Dallas is overvalued. They're 37.5%.
Yeah, I'm just interested to watch these teams. Kyrie with the Mavs and Durant with the Suns. I don't think the Suns are put together very well, but when you've got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they're going to be pouring in the points and eating down low.
Well, I mean, the locker room dynamic's got to be there. That's the thing. A lot of these teams that are put together, they just don't. They're all a bunch of whatevers, and they don't really care about the game and putting the work in. They just show up, try to do their thing, and it doesn't look good. They don't like LeBron or they don't like whoever, and
Yeah.
it's just that's why I don't know what's wrong with them Lakers, but they spend a ton of money to suck.
And man, and the network spent a ton of time talking about them. I'm like, gosh, they're not any good. Move on. Talk about somebody else, anybody. But gosh, I mean, I get it. It's LeBron, and he gets views and all that stuff. My goodness, it's
Yeah.
just
Odds on favorite.
ah,
Odds on favorite to win the NBA right now is the Celtics at plus 320.
they're a really good team. They're deep up and down the lineup. They can really play basketball. I mean, they're structured well, the whole team. And then of course you got two superstars, Tatum and Jalen Brown. I mean, and then
Go ahead.
and just a lot of guys that do their part. Marcus Smart, Al Horford. They got this Moscala
How old
kid
is
that-
Al Horford?
Man, he's still out there. Last game I watched when they played the Grizzlies. He's still out there knocking down
Nah,
threes.
you talk
and I'm
about
like, come
you
on,
talk
man.
about a fella that married up. You seen his wife?
No, I have not.
I wouldn't. Hey, way to go, buddy.
Good job. Congratulations, Al Horford. Right?
Yeah. Way to go,
Oh
champ.
man.
Phoenix Suns are the second favorite. Bucks, then Nuggets, and followed by the Clippers. Which the Clippers ain't never gonna win shit. I don't care.
No, I don't like the Clippers at all.
But
Not in the playoffs. Not when we get to playoffs. I don't like the Clippers.
and our beloved Memphis Grizzlies can't be bothered to beat a team in their own damn conference.
They're struggling. They're struggling. I don't know. It can't be Steven Adams that much. It's just the rotations aren't working properly. We're not getting. But the defense has not been great. Jaren has kind of reverted back to too many fouls. I mean, WG's having a great season. And Grizzlies are having a good season. It's just lately. I mean, what are they? 3-10 in their last 13 or something.
Yeah,
It ain't good.
I'm just hoping it's one of those mid-season, like, yeah.
So let's get to the All-Star break and regroup. Let's get
Like,
get some rest.
baseball and hockey, they just seem like they play all year.
Yeah, it's just all year round. All year round. Too bad we don't have a hockey guy to give us some hockey
yeah.
tips.
Beth and Nux. Nux and Ogre.
This is a the Bruins out there just like beating everybody's ass. I mean, just
we dialed in
getting
on them
it
a
out
couple
there.
times. Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up. I know there's probably very few people that are interested in it, but most everybody that listens probably SEC fans but like I mentioned, Friday night the college baseball season gets kicked off. Well, it gets kicked off for the Ole Miss Rebels, I know, and most of the SEC teams are going to get started Friday night. So I'm just going to touch on a few teams there. LSU and Tennessee sit atop the college baseball world right now, as they should, because the players they got. LSU hit the portal hard. They basically went out there and tried to buy a title, and that lineup is going to be potent. They're just going to bash teams all year long. They're just going to hit, and do some more hitting. Now, they had a big hit to their pitching staff in the last few days. I think their number 2 starter, he was a weekend rotation starter towards UCL. He's out, Tommy John surgery. So that's a big hit for LSU and that kid. I mean, you feel sorry for that kid. You know, it's a youngster. You're getting ready. You're right here. You're almost to the season, and this happened. So, and of course, Tennessee, they led the nation in ERA last year. And they returned most of that pitching with the top guy, Chase Dolander, coming back to the top of that rotation, ready to go.
It didn't hurt my feelings to watch them lose.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, the way that the way that's cocky as they are, and the way that they react, the way that coach is. I mean, it's hard to root for them unless you're just a diehard Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
And if you want a little information on your reigning national champions, the Ole Miss Rebels, they sit in most of the polls. They sit around number 10. Still talented. Of course, you bring back Hunter Elliott as a sophomore to lead that rotation, and you got Jacob Gonzalez, man in shortstop, and I mean, he's ranked in the top 10 for MLB draft. I mean, you're a great player. They returned some key guys like Chatagnier and Calvin Harris and T.J. McCants and Kemp Alderman. Of course, they lose the big captain. They lose Tim Elko, and they lose Justin Bench, Dylan DeLucia, Hayden Dunhurst. But I don't like their chances to repeat, but I like them to have a really good season to compete in the West and have a chance there. They got a stud freshman pitcher in Grayson Saunier who I hope to see pitch this weekend and see what he's got. And if you get Hunter Elliott still doing his thing, and you get this kid coming in and making some noise, they have some chances there. They brought in some portal guys to hit. A big dude from Tulane coming in who absolutely hit the snot out of the ball. I think he plays center field. So I look for a bounce back year from TJ McCants for sure. The kid went through just a lot with his mom having cancer, and
he come alive though.
yeah, it's just you hate to see a kid go through that, but he battled, and he did some big things in Omaha. So anyway, that's just a little tidbit. I mean, the SEC is going to be great. It's going to be fun. They're going to have tons of teams that are really good, including State. I think they're going to have a pretty good. They look to have a bounce back season.
I think they're going to be good.
So I mean, they're always competitive. I mean, so
they got decimated last year.
So it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I love Friday nights at the. We watch it on Saturday afternoons when it starts getting warm, around the pool. A lot of fun having the baseball on. So we've only gone about 30 minutes, so I just thought I'd throw something in there, Paul, to try to fill in the time. So you got anything else you want to talk about?
No. One thing that I have been kind of watching, and y'all might laugh at me, but I'm used to it. People laughing at me. Women's basketball.
The college.
Yeah, the college women's basketball. There is value there. If you're looking, like I said, if we're looking for plus money and we need an extra team, don't be scared to go over there, because if you're betting at Caesars or you're betting on these sports books and you don't live in the butthole of America.
Yeah.
I was going to pull up what the offshore books did for the Super Bowl, but because I knew it at the top of my head, and I don't want to say it wrong. But I don't understand what the leaders of these states are doing. You can literally do all sorts of chicanery and bullshit, and they're like, they turn their eyes and they don't give two craps. But when you talk about hitting a button and making a bet on your computer,
yeah.
Oh,
explain this to me. How can we have a lottery in our state, but we can't bet online?
Man, I don't.
It doesn't make sense. I don't get it.
I don't, man.
Surely it's when the next time they vote, this thing's got to pass. I mean, come on, man.
I don't know what they're waiting on. They're losing a ton of money.
Absolutely. And I mean, who are you protecting people from? They're going to do it anyway. You're not protecting somebody and protecting their money. I mean, people are going to bet.
I'll have those numbers next time we do a podcast, because I just kind of want to show the people out there listening that, I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I honestly
don't. What are you going to do with them? I mean, I don't know. Our administration needs to do something.
Yeah, let's not start politics, because I got a lot I got to say, and I just don't need to be saying it. So we'll just move on.
All right, we'll just move along. All right, so I'll just touch on this. We're not going to do a podcast on it. We're going to do a separate one with just to talk about, and we'll try to do some more of these separate ones for this sport. But getting hot and heavy in the horse racing world, and Paul and I like to start diving in when February and March rolls around, because you're going to have a lot of races that are getting points for the Kentucky Derby. And one of those races comes up this weekend at the fairgrounds down in the Big Easy, the Risen Star Stakes. It's not one of your. Go ahead. You want to announce that to the? There it is. Beautiful. Good job. It's not one of your big ones, but there is 100 points to be doled out between the top 5 finishers for Kentucky Derby.
Top to bottom, that's.
It's a huge race though, which I love. They got 14, I think, 13 or 14 that are going to be racing. So, well, we can just take a quick look at it. Actually, I got something pulled up here. Let me show you. Our faces are going to look weird, and I got to work all that out. Yeah, they got 14 horses there, and it shows the morning line odds and the jockeys and the trainers there. So, I'm looking forward to it. I like it when they have big. I'm sure you're going to get a scratch or two probably when it comes down to it. But I got something about all these horses that we can talk about, and
we'll be ready.
Make a good podcast on it.
Yeah, I got some stuff.
And put in our picks and talk about how you do exotics, and maybe we can do that. We can talk about our strategy on doing exotic plays and pick fours or just exotic races, exotic bets for one race. When you talk about it, your exactas and tries and supers and things like that, and your show and your place bet. I don't think a lot of people understand about doing just a place bet or a show bet and what that gets
You
you.
know what
So
we never did the beginning of this fall was, and we talked about doing, was just going over just what everything means.
what
Just
all
do
the bets mean,
just
how
do a
that,
30
yeah,
minutes about why it's what is minus one. A lot of folks don't get it. That's why they're
yeah,
scared of it.
that's true.
But it's if you if and then when I sit there saying we're looking for plus money, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. But we need to like just show like, hey, this is why this what it is, and we could do that easy like we did the just to get us the whiteboard and
Yeah, oh yeah,
just do it.
yeah, that's true. We could get a camera pulled out and then just show both of us talking, just doing us a board, as long as we can see the numbers on the board.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't
is.
right big, I guess,
Yeah,
or
no,
something
it's
like that.
we should have done that because there was quite a few folks that were asking about that, and then of course this summer, probably this summer when they start high school football back up, we'll get on the front end of that,
Yeah,
and we'll be ready.
that's right. Yeah. So anyway, I get. Hey, football's over. We get it, but there's a lot out there to talk about, to look at, to watch. So we'll be diving in college basketball mostly right now, getting ready for the big tournament. Watching teams that we want to bet on in the tournament. How do you think they're going to stack up against each other? Because that's when you get your different matches, matchups. When you get different conferences going it against each other, you get your small conference with a that you're always going to have one that makes a decent little run. If you can just find that one and go with them through the tournament, you can make yourself some money there. So I don't know that I have anything left, Paul. About I guess talked out. I thought we were going to have a lot, but since we missed 2 weeks, but we're just catching up. So
Yeah, that's good. I was gonna say a bunch, but I'm not.
no,
I'm just gonna let it be.
nothing you want to see. Sure,
Not sure, but I'm
all
just
right.
not gonna do it. Not this time, anyway.
Not this time. Okay, gonna wait till we get something else going before you before
I
you
just want to respond to
dive
shit
in.
as it happens. Is that
Understood.
fair?
I got you.
Okay.
Understood. And nobody knows what in the hell we're talking about, and that's okay. And I know you're like, what is he talking about? Well, we'll do that next time. So I guess we're gonna cut it off here. So we're gonna get this thing out actually today, and you can see the picks that we got out there today. All these games. I think Paul's got one game that starts at 5:30, so I need to get this thing out there for you.
Over early.
Over, maybe not. Hopefully not. So look, thanks for watching, and I know we've been gone, so hopefully you'll start getting notification, watching and seeing when they're coming out, and we'll get it on the Twitter. We'll get our plays out on Twitter tonight, and so you can see that there. So in the meantime, be looking out for us, and I'll probably put it out on Twitter when we're going to get our Risen Star podcast up. Hope to do that tomorrow. If not, we'll try to get that done Friday and just give a big rundown of the whole race. And so if you're somewhere where you can bet, maybe you like a horse that we like. And believe me, they're a lot of fun. Races are fun to watch. So for next time, I'm Franklin. That's Paul. And let's cash some tickets.
Let's get it.